Hello, my dear friends, and welcome back to Timeless Wisdom. Let me ask you, do you love a tidy, organized home, but find yourself living with family members who, let's just say, don't quite share that passion? If you're someone who feels calm when everything is in its place, but the people you care about are perfectly fine with a little clutter, this video is especially for you. In the next few minutes, we're going to explore 5 important steps that can help you stop feeling drained by constant reminders and endless cleaning. You'll learn why others may not see the mess the way you do, how to protect your own peace of mind, and most importantly, how to live in harmony with these differences without losing yourself in frustration. Along the way, I'll share a simple story about a dog and a pen, a funny little moment that holds a surprising lesson, and later, a deeper metaphor involving a boat, a strong current, and the choice of how you navigate it. And then we'll get very practical with 3 steps you can start using today to create more peace in your home, even if no one else changes a thing. Do you often wonder if there's a way to stop nagging without feeling like you're surrendering? Do you feel like you're waiting for others to wake up before you can finally relax? Or could it be that real peace comes from shifting how you see the situation, not from controlling it, but from understanding it? Take a moment. Don't rush to answer. Because what we're about to discuss might gently change the way you view not just your home, but your entire approach to living with others. If you find value in what we share today, I'd be so grateful if you give this video a thumbs up, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe to Timeless Wisdom so you'll never miss content that speaks to your journey of mindful, graceful living. Your support truly helps keep this channel alive, and it means the world to me. Now, let's begin with the very first step towards a peaceful, beautiful home, no nagging required. Step 1. Reflect. What do I truly want? Step 1. Look within. What do I want? There's something often overlooked in family conflicts. We get so focused on other people's behavior that we forget to ask ourselves the real question. What do I truly want? Do I want a tidy house? Or do I want to feel respected? Do I want them to stop making a mess? Or am I trying to regain a sense of safety and peace after years of carrying too many burdens? Asking the right question helps us look beyond actions to the deeper emotional needs behind them. Many people say, I cleaned up and they messed it up again. I've told them so many times, but nothing changes. From there comes loneliness, frustration, hurt, and eventually a quiet, heavy kind of fatigue. But if you pause and ask yourself honestly, you'll realize that what you truly want isn't just a clean house, but a peaceful home. A space where your loved ones are present and you feel loved. And to create that, tidiness alone may not be enough. This is the time to look again at what you do every day. Are your actions helping you get closer to what you want? You talk a lot. You clean nonstop. You complain. You feel tired. But do you feel lighter? Or does it feel like you're struggling alone to hold on to some order that's slowly slipping away? If so, maybe you've been rowing your life's boat against the current without even realizing it. The person who rows with the current is someone who knows what they want. They understand that peace doesn't come from forcing others to change, but from living with awareness. They know when to let go, when to speak up, and when to protect their own space. And that's why they don't feel drained. The person who rows against the current is someone who fights reality, thinking that saying more, doing more, and getting more upset will make things change. But in the end, they get worn out, disappointed, and sometimes lose themselves. Maybe you've been so focused on keeping the house tidy that you forgot to keep your heart light. The first step is always the hardest, but it's also the most important. When you stop and ask what you want and have the courage to face it, that's when you'll see which direction to go next. There's nothing wrong with loving cleanliness. But if it causes you pain every single day, is what you're chasing still worth it? Real peace begins when you live in line with your values without losing gentleness in how you treat others. And to do that, you'll need the next step. Step 2. See the difference. No one is wrong, just different. Let's move on to step 2. Step 2. Recognize the differences. No one's wrong. We just see things differently. Here's a tiny story that can completely change how we see others. One day, a man and a dog were looking at an object. The man said, "It's a pen." The dog stared at it and thought, "It's a bone." So, who's right? The answer is, they both are. To the man, it's something to write with. To the dog, it's something to chew. Same object, different perspectives, because their starting points and life experiences are completely different. Living together works the same way. For you, tidiness might be a sign of peace. But for your loved one, having things around might feel convenient, relaxed, and more livable. Not everyone was raised to love order. Not everyone finds joy in a spotless home. And that doesn't mean they're wrong. They're just living in a way that feels okay to them. If you believe there's only one right way to live yours, then you may unintentionally force others to live by your standards. And from there, the gap between you will only grow. But if you look again and realize that everyone's worldview comes from a different place, you'll start to soften. A wife who loves cleanliness doesn't have to put up with mess forever. But she also doesn't have to believe that only when her husband changes will she feel better. A husband might not see a problem with clothes lying around. But if he knows it makes his wife anxious every night, he might choose to pick them up, not out of pressure, but out of love. These things only begin when you pause and ask, what lens is this person seeing life through? And how can I move closer to them through understanding? Recognizing the difference isn't about accepting everything. It's about starting the right kind of conversation. When you truly understand that no two people are the same, you stop expecting them to behave exactly like you. And right then, you stop hurting because they didn't change the way you hoped. This is a powerful turning point and the foundation of real peace. Now let's continue with step 3. Step 3. Flow with your real desire. Stop resisting, start aligning. Step 3. Flow with what you truly want. Stop blaming, start transforming. Imagine your life as a small boat. Every morning you wake up and begin rowing that boat down a river called life. Sometimes the water is calm, sometimes it rushes fast, but it always flows in one direction. That current represents the natural laws that shape your experience. Psychological truths, cause and effect, subconscious patterns, and even things you may not have words for. There's something strange about this current. When you row with it, life feels light. You move forward without having to try so hard. But when you row against it, your arms ache. You lose direction. And sometimes, no matter how much effort you give, you can't seem to move at all. The same happens in your emotional life. When you live in alignment with what you truly want, when you speak clearly about your needs, stay soft in your heart, respond with awareness instead of anger, you are rowing with the current. You may still face challenges, but you're not drained by struggles you create yourself. But if you long for a loving family, yet speak with bitterness, if you want your husband to be more attentive, but blame him for being distant, if you want a clean house, but carry inattention every time a pair of slippers is out of place, then you are rowing upstream. Your actions are out of sync with what your heart truly wants. And that's why you feel tired. Not because others don't understand, but because you're acting against your desire. Some people think that if they can control everything, they will finally feel safe. But deep safety comes from within, not from how many times you clean or how many times you speak up. Some believe that if the other person would just change, they would suffer less. But they don't see that the more they try to force someone to follow them, the more cramped their own heart becomes. Some kind wives give everything to their families. But because they express things the wrong way, that kindness turns into pressure. Some husbands love their wives deeply, but because they don't say it, their love is misunderstood. These are all boats struggling upstream, thinking they're headed toward peace, but slowly drifting away from it. There's a saying that when you know where you want to go, you'll also know when to stop, when to turn back, and when to let the current carry you. Flowing with what you want doesn't mean giving up. It means staying awake in every decision you make. When you speak with gentleness instead of complaining, you're flowing. When you keep a small space clean just for yourself, instead of forcing the whole house to change, you're flowing. When you try to understand part of the other person's world, instead of seeing everything only from your side, you're flowing. And it's those small actions repeated every day that will gradually lighten your heart and ease your relationships. That's when you stop getting trapped in the cycle of mess and anger and begin living like someone rowing calmly across peaceful water. From here, you'll finally have enough strength to begin more practical changes. And now, let's move on to step 4. Step 4. Set clear boundaries in shared spaces. Step 4. Set clear physical boundaries. When you live with someone who tends to be messy, the hardest part isn't having to clean more. It's the feeling that everything is out of your control. You wipe the table, and they put things on it again. You fold the laundry, and they toss clothes onto a chair. You tidy up one corner, and another gets messy. That feeling can quickly lead to frustration and make you feel like you're fighting a never-ending battle. But in truth, you don't need to control the entire house to feel at peace. You just need to set clear boundaries where tidiness is required and where flexibility is allowed. Instead of trying to make the whole house perfect, start by agreeing with your loved ones on a few shared areas that must be kept clean and orderly, like the dining table, kitchen, bed, or living room. These spaces directly affect your health, rest, or family image, so maintaining them is easier to agree on. Speak gently and specifically. Instead of saying, "You always make a mess," try saying, "I just ask that we keep the dining table clean since it's where we all eat together." Once boundaries are set and agreed upon, you'll feel more in control and won't need to repeat yourself as much. If your loved one can't change completely, suggest a compromise. Give them a designated space where they can keep their belongings however they like. It could be a shelf, a corner of the room, or even a private drawer somewhere you don't need to step in. The truth is, you can't force someone to live your way, but you can create an environment clear enough that everyone knows what's expected. A tidy home isn't one where everything is spotless. It's one where the rules are clear and everyone understands the boundaries that matter. When you do that, you ease the burden on yourself and gently guide your loved ones toward better habits without needing to push. That's how you row with the current in real life. And this becomes the foundation for the next step, learning to communicate with care. Step 5, communicate gently. Keep a clean corner for yourself. Step 5, communicate well and protect your personal space. Many people fall into the loop of complaining because they keep talking, but nothing ever changes. But if you look closely, not everyone knows how to speak in a way that gets heard. Some words open hearts, others make people put up walls. The difference lies in how you begin. Instead of saying, "Why do you always leave things everywhere?" try saying, "I feel tired having to clean multiple times a day, and I hope we can keep the table clear so meals feel more relaxing." When you speak from your own experience and clearly describe what you need, it's easier for the other person to understand because they don't feel attacked. This way of speaking is known as the "I feel when, because" model, and it's been proven to reduce tension in family conversations. You don't need fancy words, just sincerity and respect. Along with speaking the right way, there's something equally important, having a small space of your own. When you live with someone different from you, having a personal space is essential for recharging your energy. It could be a desk, a kitchen corner, a balcony, a bookshelf, or just a chair where you can sit quietly for 5 minutes a day. Keep that space clean, fragrant, and pleasant, like a small mental retreat. When you have somewhere to return to, you won't get swept up by the clutter around you. You won't feel like you're losing the battle for order, but instead, like you're calmly protecting something deeply important. There was an elderly woman who once said no. No matter how loud or messy the house got, she always kept her tea table clean because that was where she began each day in peace. Sometimes one small corner like that is enough to keep your heart steady. Speaking with care and protecting your space not only makes you feel lighter, it also sends a quiet message. You are living with awareness, self-respect, and clear limits. And that message will naturally reach the person living with you even if they don't change right away. That's when you stop trying to control others and start truly taking charge of your own life. Now we come to the closing part where we reflect on everything we've shared. Final thoughts. If you're still with me at this point, I have a feeling you've lived through that exhausting cycle you clean, and it gets messy again. You speak, but the words seem to vanish into thin air. You wait, hoping your loved ones will suddenly see things differently, only to find yourself feeling more worn out. But today's message isn't about pointing fingers or dwelling in frustration. It's about taking a journey inward, a journey toward understanding, growth, and, most importantly, inner peace. The first step is an honest reflection. What are you really seeking, peace or control? Love or perfection? Sometimes those lines blur, but clarity begins with asking ourselves the right questions. The second step is about accepting differences, not as faults, but as unique perspectives. It's not about who's right or wrong. It's simply about how we each experience life in our own way. The third step is learning to flow with what you truly value. When we stop resisting the reality of others, we allow ourselves to walk alongside it, gently and without unnecessary struggle. The fourth step is setting healthy boundaries. Instead of exhausting yourself trying to clean and control everything, focus on maintaining spaces that genuinely matter to you, spaces that give you peace, not pressure. And the fifth step is to refresh how you communicate. It's not about louder words or longer speeches. It's about mindful conversations, paired with creating a small sacred space in your home where your mind can rest and recharge each day. These aren't grand, sweeping changes. They're small shifts in daily practice, but little by little, they ease the tension. And maybe, even if the people around you haven't changed, the energy in your home will start to feel lighter because you are moving differently. Remember, harmony isn't about everyone living the same way. True peace comes from knowing how to live together with understanding, with patience, and with kindness. Thank you for spending this time with us here at Timeless Wisdom. If today's video brought you even a small sense of clarity or relief, please support this community by clicking that like button, subscribing to Timeless Wisdom, and sharing your thoughts in the comments below. I read every message, and your words always inspire future content. Share this video with a friend who might need this gentle reminder too. Until we meet again, I'm wishing you a calm heart, a peaceful home, and a life filled with quiet, loving strength. See you in the next video. Stay kind, stay steady, and always stay timeless wisdom.